at the same time on both Instagram and on YouTube and Facebook. Now I'm live everywhere. Hi, everyone. Hello. I'm waving with two hands because I'm both on the phone and on my StreamYard doing Facebook and YouTube live. I have people joining me already from different places and states. And let me just do an introduction. You don't know me. I am Marina Shepelsky. I'm a Russian speaking New York and New Jersey attorney, but we do immigration law in all the 50 states. I'm an immigrant myself. I came here at the age of 12. And since then, I've been helping other immigrants legalize. Yes, even as young as a teen, I was already helping a lot of people because I used to do paperwork, all kinds of legal paperwork for friends and family. Because when we came here, I spoke English and they didn't. So my father very quickly started, as I call it, pimping me out. He started like, sort of telling friends or family that needed help that I can help them. He never let me charge anybody until I became an adult and I went to law school. But I've been doing paperwork and helping people resolve all kinds of life problems since I was really a teen. Then I recently realized, wow, I've been doing this for many, many years through things that I did in my life. So my practice now focuses on immigration law. And if you live in New York or New Jersey, also divorces and family law. But I do these lives every Friday because I want to talk about the immigration news of the week. And every week I have a lot to talk about, and this week is no exception. I got a lot going on. Thank you to my friend Natalia Palukhtin, who is called Logofilka here on Instagram. She says I look good. Thank you. I actually, just to give you guys like a background of how this happens, we have snow happening now in New Jersey where I live and I work from home. So this morning I did yoga and I decided to just go straight to my show. I put on some makeup because I want to look nice for you guys, and I feel like it's disrespectful to just look bad on camera. But I didn't have a moment to shower or change because I had to do yoga this morning and get my peace of mind. It's been a crazy, insane week for all kinds of reasons. So news number one, I see enough people are joining us. And if you are watching me on Instagram, you're lucky because I can take comments on Instagram and highlight them, and the rest of you can read what I'm responding to, not just hear my voice. So, Alero on YouTube says hi. Jasmine is asking me a question. Can my father apply for visitor visa if an I-130 filed by brother for brother petition is pending for him? So I'm going to quickly answer one question and then I'll get into my topics. Jasmine, yes, a father can apply for a visitor visa. He can. There's nothing saying he cannot. He might be approved or not. It depends on what the consulate officer will think of his ties to the home country. Is he likely to use this visitor visa to come to America and never return? Or is he just going to come visit and come back? So the consular officer will be weighing the fact that there's a family petition pending on behalf of your dad, which means your dad wants to immigrate to the United States permanently, versus does he have enough tying him to your home country to come back? Topic number one that I wanted to tell you guys about, and this just came out, is that because of COVID, I'm going to call it the official terms first, and then I'm going to explain what that means. Because of COVID, they're extending the immigration court standing order, which the latest standing order said they have to do everything virtually for now, number one. And number two, anyone who doesn't have a lawyer, that's extended through February 7th. Those hearings will be bumped. They will be rescheduled. So if you do not have a lawyer in your immigration court case, this has to do with people in deportation and removal proceedings. You have a court case, in other words. They're doing everything virtually now and only for people with a lawyer. If you don't have a lawyer, they're just going to reschedule you for now, and then we see what happens. And if you do have a hearing, Do not come to court. They will not let you physically inside. Check the status of your court case online. You can Google the words automated immigration court. And with your alien number, you can check your next hearing date. Okay, so that was my first thing that I wanted to discuss today. And another interesting thing that happened this week, it's not so much immigration related, but it's kind of like the sign of the times, what President Biden is doing. He announced that he is planning to appoint a new Supreme Court judge, and that's going to be a Black woman. So it's time for a Black woman to be on the U.S. Supreme Court. And now, people have been writing about it. I only see positive things in this, but of course, people have, are saying, well, why should somebody be appointed just because of the color of their skin and their gender? It's kind of like reverse discrimination, right? We tell our kids that you just do your best and you will be successful in whatever you do. Hopefully in our society, in America today, you will be recognized for the things that you do and not for your color or if you're a woman or a man, right? But here's the president coming out and saying, look, the Supreme Court doesn't have enough diversity. It's mostly white men and only like one woman right now, I think, or two. I'm sorry, I'm not up on my Supreme Court game this morning. And we need to add another person, a minority, a person of color, and a woman to the mix. I like the idea of adding a Black woman because you probably guys all know, I mentioned my hero is the Supreme Court Justice Ruth Bader Ginsburg. She was one of the first women in law, really prominently. She was the first Jewish woman Supreme Court Justice on the Supreme Court panel. She was very smart, and I love women being on the Supreme Court. The Supreme Court makes decisions like if things that are happening in our country are fair, if laws are fair. They're like the final say on a judicial level, and they balance out the two other parts of our government, which is the Congress is the legislative branch. They make laws, and then there's the president and his office, and that's the executive branch. So these three branches, the court, Congress, and the presidential office, and all the people, they balance each other out. So the court is the final decision maker on whether things are fair. Add a Black woman to the court panel would be wonderful, I think. And if they can find somebody qualified, why not? I'm for it. I'm not against that. And I think it's a good thing. So we'll see what happens. We'll see if they're going to let I'm waving to some of my followers and friends here who are looking and joining on Instagram. And some people here are Russian speaking, so I'm just going to say a quick привет, друзья, привет. Я сегодня на английском, но у меня есть отдельный Инстаграм для тех, кто говорит по-русски. Там вы можете смотреть лайв на русском. Я на этой неделе проводила его в среду. Okay, back to English for all my English-speaking friends here. So my next thing that I wanted to discuss is that USCIS has finally released instructions, guidance on how to expedite your pending delayed immigration case. So if you've been super delayed with USCIS, they actually provided very clear instructions on how to write them a letter with request to expedite. They said, first of all, you have to put that language in there and say request to expedite. You have to call it what it is. People ask me questions like how to do this. Look, a lot of like legal stuff that we do, logical things that work, right? So we find that what works, if you have to write the government a letter, on the letter what it is that you're asking them to do in big captions, like in big letters. So now USCIS is saying, look, on all your letters where you're asking us to process and speed up your case, write in big letters, request to expedite. Number one. Number two, they are saying they will consider these on a case-by-case basis. And if you have a really good reason, a humanitarian reason, for example, you're going to experience a terrible terrible financial problem because of this delay. If your family is facing a severe financial loss, or the company, and let's say you had somebody file for you, the sponsor company says, without you quickly approving this guy, our company is going to suffer a huge loss if you don't timely process this. Emergency situations, for example, illness, disability, extreme living conditions, death in the family. Like if you need to travel and somebody is dying, right? You write the letter and you attach the document that proves the emergency, that proves the humanitarian reason. And you attach an English translation, and they will consider it. And if it's really dire, like if it's really extreme, they will definitely grant it. Of course, other organizations that should be able to get expedited requests are nonprofit organizations, are U.S. government related agencies. If they need somebody quickly legalized, they can write the letter. And also in the circumstance of a clear USCIS mistake. Like if they made a mistake in your case that's causing a bad delay, again, you write them to expedite, you say request to expedite, and they will help. Also, they promise to request, to consider request to expedite for adoptions and sometimes for certain appeals. Okay, now, they're saying if you're going to expedite, or you're going to ask to speed up, to expedite asylum, you write directly to the asylum office that will be interviewing you. If you have problems outside of the United States, there's also a place to write them. Also, they said this earlier, but it's part of this expediting request process. If you are a healthcare worker, or you work with computers, and maybe some of your clients are in healthcare, and this includes hospitals, pharmacies, anybody manufacturing anything used in the healthcare industry, any clinics, anything like laboratories, obviously labs where they're doing blood tests, any other kind of test that's needed for medicine, any like x-ray or imaging places, any dialysis facilities, anything that has to do with treating people even remotely, their health, or you're driving a truck for a pharmacy or for one of those manufacturing places or lab, anything that has to do with healthcare, and you filed for your work permit, your EAD, and it's now about to expire, 30 days or less left on that, you write them a request. But also, just to make it even quicker than that, you call them up, the 1-800-375-5283 number, and you tell them on the phone that you're requesting expediting processing for the healthcare worker work permit, and that you are prepared to give them paperwork to prove you're a healthcare worker, to prove your EAD is about to expire, to prove why you need to expedite. They might ask you to email it, and then they will make that type of decision to expedite or not to expedite. So if you have an emergency situation, if you're a healthcare worker with less than 30 days left on your work permit, or it's expired already, if you have an urgent situation, now they give you very clear instructions on how to ask to stop the delay and speed up the processing of your case. Another big piece of news this week was for people who are in the STEM industry. STEM stands for science, technology, engineering, and math. So if you're one of those people, and in your country you have a master's degree or above, and in your country you have some really good, like interesting work experience that could be useful to America in this time of COVID pandemic. We're still in the pandemic, right? They will now make it a little easier to get a green card through the National Interest Waiver Program. If you can prove that you labor certification because you have a really high education in STEM, science, technology, engineering, or math, your plan for business, or you're coming to work for a company is super cool and interesting, and we can prove that it makes a national interest of the United States to not have you go through at least a year of Labor Department process, right? For something like perm, we can help you get a green for you, your spouse, and your children under 21. So if you have that kind of case, give us a call. Our phone number is 718-769-6352. You can find me if you don't. Just Google me, Marina Shepelsky, immigration attorney, and you can give us a call. Now, briefly, we're still talking about the BBB Act, which is the Build Back Better Act, the proposed fiscal or financial plan law that Congress said they were going to try to pass with immigration reform in it. Very limited immigration reform, where they said they were going to take some old visas and help people who've been delayed more than 2 years in family petitions waiting. It's also for people who've been here from before January 1, 2011 to give them work permits and no deportation status. Okay, not green card, but no deportation plus work permit. I haven't heard anything new about it other than the fact that this Democratic senator from, a powerful, I don't want to even bring up his name, but he said that he's not going to vote for it, not because of the immigration part, but because the spending is too much law that I know most of you probably don't care about, but that's what they worry about in Congress when they make laws that have to do with everyone in the United States using the money and the financial industry that's being, very stressed by the pandemic. So he said he's not approving how much spending from the federal government will be asked because we already spend so much and not really making that much to compensate. And because of that, it might not pass, but we'll see what happens. We'll see. Okay, we'll see what happens. In terms of Vawa, people are asking me all the time on YouTube because you guys know we do a lot of Vava, Violence Against Women Act cases. Vawa, it's for people who are married to a U.S. citizen or green card holder and they're in abusive situations. The spouse who has status, the one who's legal, basically abuses the illegal one. They call them bad names. They financially control them. They threaten and blackmail them with deporting them, not filing for them, not legalizing them or their kids, refusing to help them with their papers, right? We file Vawa for them, and I see a lot of questions because I do videos about Vawa and how it works. A lot of questions ask me, how long does Vawa take? And how long to get a green card through Vawa? Those are two separate questions, right? Those are two separate questions. If you file for Vawa, the Vawa petition by itself takes about 3 years, 2.5 to 3 years, approximately. If you also file for a green card, either before you file for Vawa or during the Vawa process, that after your Vava approval sometimes takes another 7 to 8 to even 14 months. Because what happens is when the case is approved in the Vava unit, they take your alien file and they ship it to your local office for USCIS to make a decision on your green card application, on the I-485. That process of shipping it and getting it in line for an officer to look at it takes like a year now. So the question is, if you filed from scratch for Vawa and the green card, it'll take about 2.5 to 3 years to get the Vawa approved, and then another possibly year. You will be legal, you will be able to work legally and travel with an advanced parole when you're eligible. Of course, there's exceptions for people who have a prior order of deportation that cannot travel, but for everyone else, you can travel while waiting for Vawa. And this is the part where I'm going to end my topics and start answering some of your questions. I want to make it very clear, anything I say here is not legal advice. Since I don't know you, we don't have an attorney-client relationship. It's just for educational purposes. And if you need more clarity, if you have a question what you don't want to discuss here, call us. We do only paid consultations because we're super busy and we can only spend time on people who can pay, unless we're doing something pro bono, and then we have separate procedures for that. And we do stuff free pro bono, but not for consultations, okay? So consultations, go give us a call at the office, 718-769-6352. And I'm going to read a question from Instagram here from Kim Takashi. Hi, Marina. I was married to a green card holder, and during the marriage, I found that she has alcohol problems. Every time she drank, she would harass and insult me. Time passed and nothing changed. Things got worse, and I filed for divorce. She never added me to the list and billing. So basically, I don't have proof that we live together. Do you think I have a chance for Vava? Let me answer you. It's hard to say. It depends. I'd have to think about it. I can't make that kind of a decision from an Instagram live. You have to call us and we'd have to discuss what else you did have for your marriage when you were divorced. Because, for example, if you were already divorced more than 2 years, it's too late to file VAWA anyway, and we don't have to think about anything else. If you haven't been divorced for 2 years yet, we might consider anyway. If you had other things, if you can get a lot of pictures and witness letters together, and if you have proof of the abuse. So we'll see. Give us a call for your consultation. Okay, I'm going to switch back to comments with questions on Facebook and YouTube. This is a question from YouTube. If I apply my asylum in New Jersey, how long will the whole process take? If you apply now under the Trump's change of laws for asylum processing, your interview will be super quick. It'll take like maybe 35, 40 days for them to schedule you for an asylum interview. And then you're going into court proceedings, very likely, if you don't get your asylum in the interview. It depends. I don't know if you were here already for over a year in America. If you were here over a year, they might not even interview you. They might just send you straight to immigration court. And then in immigration court, it might take a year or 2 years or 3 years. I don't know. Why? Because it depends which judge you get. Some judges, it's like a lottery. Some judges are super booked and their calendar's already in 2025. And some judges can squeeze you in and have a hearing for you like in the next 3 months. So that depends. Another question from YouTube is from Afsan. And he says, hi, ma'am. Hello. My wife is a green card holder and she applied for an I-130 petition for me. She changed her last name from social and driver's license, but she didn't change her last name from the green card. Would that be a problem or no? It's not going to be a problem. As long as you can show the name sequence and the marriage and all that, it doesn't matter. For some reason, people are always asking me if it matters for a marriage case if the spouse changed their last name. Honestly, it does not matter as long as you disclose all your names. And nowadays in 2022, oftentimes women do not change their last name. I never did. I kept my name. Okay, Kim Takashi says, thank you, Marina. You're a sweetheart. Thank you. And then Afsan adds that the wife will change her last name when she takes citizenship. Great. This is not going to be bad for your case at all. Don't worry. You can sleep easy. Alera says, thank you for all you do. Very welcome. Please, when are they starting the submission of asylum applications online? They're talking about it, but it hasn't started yet. I don't know when. Sue Champ says, when will the category F4 immigration India start moving? They said for now they're not moving anything until they can catch up on the cases that already were current during the pandemic and they haven't yet interviewed or processed. So the cases that already they had up until now, everyone else, they're delaying to work on those cases. So I don't know when it's going to start moving. I would give it another few months at least. Nino says hello. Hi. Aziz says, good morning, Marina. Good morning. Okay, I just answered that question. Nayela says hi. Hi. Nayela says she wants to talk to me, and I invite you to give us a call. My phone number is on the bottom. It's 718-769-6352. Gurvinder Singh says, can my father apply for a visitor visa? Oh, I feel like I answered this already. Can my father apply for a visitor visa if there's a brother petition pending for him? So basically, I said, yes, you can apply, and there's a chance they will approve it. But remember, they will be looking at the fact that he has a family petition going on while asking to visit United States for a short period of time. So those two things conflict. If you're saying you have a brother petition to come and move to America forever, but you're also saying, well, for now, I'm just going to go visit, they might suspect that he's not coming back and just deny it. But he can apply and see what happens. Phone number is on the bottom of the screen, 718-769-6352. And Thayer Champ says, what if our fees have been paid and waiting just for the interview? Then if the child will age out of this interview waiting process, then what will happen? Is it the mistake of U.S. immigration? Will they allow? So this is what they do. First of all, if you already paid for your fees and you're waiting for an interview, you will be interviewed soon. I cannot tell you how long. It's going to be a few months. I'm telling you. Don't think it's going to be tomorrow. 2-3 months at least, first of all. Second of all, if you have kids waiting in these family petitions, right, and they age out, I think they're going to make some exceptions for their age. And they also always subtract from the age of the kids at the time of the interview the time it took for the I-130 or the I-140, the underlying petition, to be approved. So the kids, I think, will be okay, and it's not their mistake, because the pandemic has made everything super delayed. So it's not like they had anything wrong, they didn't do anything wrong, it just happened. Marie says you look so beautiful. Thank you so much. I just did yoga this morning. Hi. Hi, Marina, says Sugar. I'm sorry, it says Sager. Sager Bandar applied for Vawa in October 2021, but I still didn't receive any request for evidence. How many months it will take to get the request for evidence or any response? First of all, when you apply for Vawa, the first thing they send you is a receipt notice. It's a letter that says they received your case. And basically, you have a case number and you're in process, first of all. They might also ask you to do biometrics. That's a next letter that will come. If you submitted proof of the marriage and the police clearance and some basic things that your spouse was a U.S. citizen or green card holder, you will also receive something called a prima facie approval. You might not get the request for evidence if you sent everything initially sufficient. Like if you send enough, if there was enough there, you might not get any request for evidence. The request for evidence that really look through your case and really get into it might not come at all, or like 2.5, 3 years from now. Okay, so don't worry, just be patient. Make sure you have your prima facie approval, and if you don't, talk to your attorney. And if you don't have an attorney, give us a call. We'll be happy to take over this case and get it on track. Tuber Knox says, hi, Marina. Hello. Sagar says it's 107 days now. Sometimes it takes 3 years. And I'm talking about the Vawa process. Sana Faiz says, which field office do I have to check online processing time for green card after Vawa approval, as I live in Brooklyn, New York? Vermont Service Center does not show green card for Vawa, but U visa and T visa. Okay, you have to look for the New York City field office. And that field office is showing that green cards are taking up to, I think, 36 months right now. But if your Vava is approved already, in my experience, and I practice in Brooklyn, in my experience, the New York field office will take about 1 to 1.5 years from the VAWA approval date to look at your case. They might not even interview you for the green card. They might send you a letter called a request for evidence only for the medical if they're missing something and approve you without an interview. They will just mail you the green card. Keep checking at uscis.gov for your case status. Also, I recommend you make your My USCIS account to know what's going on with your case. Ernst Manjori says, Manjori, hello, how are you doing today, Miss Marina? I'm doing well, thank you very much. And on Instagram, Durham says, yeah, more women want to keep their names. Absolutely. Nowadays, it's normal for somebody to just get married and never change their name. As a matter of fact, I now see a lot of men either taking their wife's last name or like both people who do hyphenated double last names, then what name of the wife and the name of the husband. So there you go. It's the sign of the times, at least in America. I know other countries are not maybe as advanced, although, you know, Europe, yeah. Now, on Instagram, Stanley says, if I file a Vawa case, can I withdraw Vawa if my spouse and I reconcile, get back together, and file the regular marriage case? My spouse is very abusive. She promised to change, but it's back and forth. Absolutely. I actually had a client that we filed Vawa for, and then her and her husband reconciled. Here it's you and your wife. We withdrew the Vawa. We went for the regular marriage case, and she got her green card through the regular marriage case after she withdrew the Vawa. So yeah, that works. So Thayer Champ says, why are they always moving slow for Indian immigration? Because there's so many people from India applying. So they want to keep a diversity, different people, different countries in the immigration process. And because so many people from India, it's a huge country, are applying, they're slowing down on processing them. Sana says, back to the earlier question, field office processing time shows two categories, family-based and employment-based. Vawa is family-based. So you can look at the family-based green card processing. It's up to 36 months. I check all the time, so just take my word for it. And in reality, if your Vawa was approved October 1, 2021, you won't get your green card, probably at least for another year until October 2022. That's just for an example. Ernst Manjoy also says that he has a question. Actually, I have my interview pending for asylum now. Can I have an attorney in my case? I live in New Jersey. Where can I find your office? Absolutely, Ernst. If you want to add an attorney or change an attorney, we're very happy to take over your asylum case. Our office is in New York, but we have many clients in New Jersey and other states, and you can get in touch with us. And we now work with many clients by video, just like this. We send you a link to send us all your documents, so it's not hard at all, I promise you. Give us a call. The phone number is on the bottom of the screen, 718-769-6352. And Stanley says on Instagram, thank you, Marina. Thank you. Thank you for watching. Okay, I filed my VAWA. So E. Gujon says, I filed my VAWA case with my work permit application at the same time. I was told I was going to get a work permit in 6 months. It's been over a year. Nothing. Any advice? If you filed for VAWA and the work permit based on VAWA, they will not give you a work permit until VAWA is approved. That's 3 years. However, if you filed your VAWA with a green card, I-485, and the work permit based from that green card, that takes about 10 months to a year now. Maybe when you filed, you thought it was going to take 6 months, but things have gotten more and more delayed because so much people are filing and they're not keeping up even with the older cases. So things are super delayed right now. Hi. If you have your office somewhere in New Jersey, send me the address. I'll make an appointment. You don't need address. Just give us a call. Our phone number is on the bottom of the screen. We'll work it out with you. Does my 14-year-old child qualify under my Vava application, or should I file for her separately? You can do either. If you have children and you're filing for Vawa, it's probably easier to just include them in your Vawa. However, your kid also can file a separate Vawa petition. Either one is fine. If you want to just save time and money, just do your application and make sure you include your kid, your 14-year-old, in it. Now, just to go back to that for a second, if the child has her own abuse story, she can file a separate case from you, and you just mention her in your case. When is the good time to file separately for your kid? It's only when the kid has their own separate abuse story. Like if the stepfather beat them up, like separately from you. They didn't just suffer because they watched you suffer. They suffered on their own. They have their own story, and the U.S. citizen stepmom or stepdad abused them. So that's when we file a separate petition. Sorry about that. Now, Sherry Han is asking, hi, how are you? Hi. I have hearing aids by immigration court. When I called my lawyer last time, he told me they're still closed. I called him from overseas, and Jordan can give you any advice. I don't understand. I'm sorry what this means. I guess you have an immigration court hearing, and it's still delayed. I don't know. I'm sorry. I don't understand the question. I'm sorry about that. The user says, hi, Miss Marina. Hope all is well. Hi. Then Sharihan says, oh, she corrected it. She has a hearing date with immigration court, and they're saying it's still closed. Call him from overseas. And Jordan, I need your advice. I would ask you to call our office for a consultation. I need to find out what's going on. Sanai is asking again, which field office do I have to check processing time for a green card as living in Brooklyn? I answered this already. It's New York City field office. And you have to look in the family-based green card category. The user says, could you please tell us if there's anything for dreamers who have bachelor's degree but don't qualify for DACA? Nothing yet. Nothing. How can such a dreamer obtain legal status? As having been in the U.S. for 11 years, arrived in the U.S. on a visitor visa, and mother has a green card. Marriage to a U.S. citizen. That's the only way you're going to get your green card at this point. Without leaving the country, if they come here with inspection in crossing border, but not admitted or paroled, and has removal of proceedings, asylum is pending. Give us a call. This is complex. They might need a waiver and reopening of your case, so give us a call. It's too long to answer here. Kenson is asking, do you think public charge rules will return? I hear rumors. Public charge rules are still there. The amplification, increasing of that, was what they got rid of. So Trump actually was asking for additional forms. There's always been part of the process. Okay, I'm back. Sorry about that. Public charge rules are in effect. Everybody who's got a family petition still has to do the affidavit of support. I don't think they're bringing back what Trump wanted to do, is that everybody who comes here needs to prove they're self-supporting. or that, the medical insurance for everybody thing, right? That's not coming back. I haven't heard rumors or anything official. Shauna Ava Bless says, attorney, hi. If I file my Vawa and my husband decides to help me, should I do it in the case he didn't know I filed for Vawa? Should I continue with my Vawa? Okay, so she did file a Vawa. I guess the husband is a U.S. citizen. Now he says he will help her. He will file a regular marriage case for her. Should she risk giving up her Vawa, just give up her Vawa case, forget about that, withdraw the Vawa, and stick with a regular marriage green card case? I don't know. It depends on your husband. There's got to be a reason why you filed for Vawa. Remember, if you forget about Vawa and you go with the regular marriage case, you depend on your husband for that. If your marriage cannot make it for the next year until they call you for an interview and interview you and they give you a green card, you're completely screwed. You lost your chance for Vawa and you're not getting the marriage case. If you're asking me, I would just stick with Vawa. But it's your life, and I cannot tell you what to do. And I would not tell him about the Vawa because he might beat you up for it. Aziz says, how the matter of Sergio Rodolfo Lapara will affect people. I don't know. Okay. Peter Patel says, I have an asylum case, but I'm married a U.S. citizen, and I have a problem in my marriage. Can I apply for Vawa? But I have a question. If I apply Vawa I-360 and I-485 together. So Peter already filed for asylum, and then he met a U.S. citizen and got married to a citizen. So he was thinking of switching from asylum to a marriage case. But that marriage is falling apart. They're having marriage problems. So he wants to know, can he file for Vawa and I-485? Absolutely, you can. I would also, for now, leave the asylum case alone. You're absolutely allowed to have both your asylum case and the Vawa case and green card case all at the same time. Usually, I just leave the asylum alone. And if your Vawa gets approved, then I let the asylum people know. Anil says, hi, I miss my grandmother. Oh, hi, miss. Hi. My grandmother is a U.S. citizen, and my mother is married and has 3 children. But at the time my mother has a divorce, now mom is divorced. Can my grandma file for my mother a petition as an unmarried daughter of a U.S. citizen over 21? Absolutely, yes. If your mom is divorced, she can file for her in the category of unmarried children of U.S. citizen over 21. MD says, I have my naturalization interview next month. Congratulations. I live in Minnesota now, but I haven't updated my ID to Minnesota ID. And do you think it's not a big deal if I present it? Deal if you moved? What's going to happen if you show them your North Dakota ID is they will send your case to North Dakota to interview. So if I were you, I wouldn't wait until then. I would report your address change officially with USCIS on their website, online. You can do it. After that, I would also mail a letter to the office that's going to interview you and let them know you moved to North Dakota and let them make a decision before even you come there on what to do if they want to move your case to North Dakota. Very likely they will. I'm telling you, 99.99% of the time, if you are now in another state, they will not even bother to interview you. Or even if they interview you, you're going to have to re-interview. So why put yourself through that stress twice? If you moved, report the address change. By law, you have to report it within 10 days of moving. And it sounds like you moved already a while ago. Report the address change online with a case number. Write a letter directly to the naturalization, your field office in Minnesota. Tell them what happened. Attach a copy of your new address and all that, and see what they do. Alara says, thank you for educating us. You're very welcome. Okay. I answered this. Hasib says, I'm a minor asylum. I have Win Family Court. I have I-360 approved. One second. But my I-485 was denied by USCIS. They're saying they can't approve my I-485. My immigration judge will make that decision. I guess you have a court case, immigration court case. And when there's a court case open or like an old deportation, USCIS has lower power, lower jurisdiction. So they usually do that. They will close your I-485, but you can go back to court and ask the judge to approve your I-485, and you will be okay. Hasib says he's had many master hearings before and he applied for motion to reapply for final hearing. Right. So you're doing the right thing. You did the motion, you let the know what happened. And okay. Muhammad says, I don't know, what to say. Oh, Mohammed, again, you're married for 3 months. Relationship is bad. You have domestic issues and family problems, and your wife is a green holder. You are documented. You do have some joint mail and medical. Give us a call for your consultation. I cannot tell you here what we're going to do. Hasib continues asking about his immigration court, that they gave him a date, but they also turned it off. There are no future hearings. What can I do? I don't know. I'd have to look at the whole case. You're not really telling me the information that I need to know here, because I don't know why they turned off your case. Maybe they gave you administrative closure before, and you have to make a motion for the court to bring back your case to active calendar and have a hearing on it. But give us a call. We'll figure it out. Do a consultation. Mar Torres says, is there a pardon for a green card through Vava for fraud and mispresentation at the border? I don't have deportation or expedited removal, neither. There is a waiver available. It depends what exactly happened. Give us a call. Okay, at this point, I'm done with all my questions. I've answered people, and some people asked me like 4 comments. I cannot really get into it during live. If I haven't answered it fully, this is because I cannot give you full legal advice during a live show. But some questions I definitely answered, and I see that you guys heard me. We discussed the topics that we prepared about the immigration courts being virtual. We discussed the fact that you can now request to expedite your work permit if you're a healthcare worker, or if you just have a humanitarian or emergency situation. My last question is from Nabil. He says, can I apply for Vawa if you're not present in the United States? Absolutely. Give us a call. We can help you. Okay. So Nabil, yes, I just answered. You can apply for Vawa if you're not in the United States, if your spouse is a citizen or green card holder. On this note, I thank you all for joining us today, joining me. I always say us because you guys see me here, but we have a big team in my office. We're all consulting people every day. We're always talking about our cases. We have 3 other specialists and attorneys consulting people, and we have a big team of paralegals, a wonderful client coordinator, and another person who manages our sales and our clients, Jacob. So I'm happy to be a member of a wonderful team, but my team is shy, and I'm usually the only one who gets to talk to you guys. So forgive me when I say us, but of course I'm not alone. It's law offices of Marina Shepelsky, a Shepelsky Law Group. We are a group of people who are ready to help you no matter where you live in the world or in the United States for immigration. If you have a divorce matter, New York, New Jersey only. So give us a call. We'll be happy to speak to you. Give us a call and schedule your consultation today. Bye-bye. Bye, everyone. Have a wonderful weekend. Have a great